Hello, trading is closed on July 6, 2022. Let's do our disclaimer first, as we always do. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, Thursday, July 7th. Remember, it's a plan. I can change it. I can be wrong. Any trade you make should be at your own risk. Today we look for the pattern with the early low, which is this. Tends to be a rally day with a high in the final hour. That's the normal pattern. It's not normal that we close under all the intraday highs. It's positive that we finally have a close over this consolidation, but it's kind of tainted by the fact that we couldn't close over these highs. All that negativity goes away if we take this high out early. There's a wall into the close, so gapping up like that's entirely possible. We said that as long as yesterday's high held, we dropped right from the open. We had much lower targets. That didn't happen. We said unless we gapped and promptly overtook yesterday's high, we should see 37.7170. We did promptly overtake the high, but there wasn't a gap. So that calls a miss, and that's a failed target, and we have to add it to the list. Our disappointment is somewhat ameliorated by the fact that we get to cross a target from last week off the list, 38.4176 printed, and there was resistance and support right at the target. At some point, 37.71.70 should print. It's likely to be a support resistance area, but nothing requires it to print anytime soon. It's just a reminder of what we said. We said if we drop from the open, all kinds of negative stuff, but that didn't happen. Today, MEJT said this drop was false, price would retrace, said these drops would retrace, said this rally would retrace. That's already happened. Before we look at things on a longer time frame, let's do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. Not the only way to count it for sure. Maybe it explains this late drop, maybe not. I am not confident of this count at all, but we just looked at this counting 5 waves up. You can count 5 waves up from going back 2 days, and if that's wave C, there's a relationship between gold A and gold C. This count doesn't really flow the way I like him to. I'm not at all certain it's right, but it doesn't break any rules. And so we have to consider this being resistance at today's high. This is again fan line going back to the COVID low. It's within 7 points of a perfect 2x1 line. You can see how we gapped under the line, and now we're meeting resistance at it again. If we're going to continue higher, I'd like to see us gap over this line, which would mean gapping over today's high. Because of the wall, that's entirely possible. Not a lock. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low. We could still gap up. Yesterday's close, we had a great pattern for a top had we dropped right from the open. That didn't happen. When good patterns fail, they usually fail big, meaning we should trade higher than we closed today. The catches are today's normally bullish pattern couldn't close over intraday highs. Resistance from again fan line, we can count 5 waves up of multiple degrees. All this would be resolved were we to gap and promptly clear today's high. there's a wall into the close, that makes that entirely plausible. And if we gap over today's high, I think the rally continues. If we don't, I don't have a good call. So either resistance is cleared or it wins. Because we killed a pretty strong pattern yesterday, which called for lower prices, I would expect more than this. But there's no guarantee in this world, and if we are going to continue higher, I really want to see us gap over this high. I can't say it's a lock, and if we don't see that, it's possible this is a big fake out, and I'm not going to make a call if we don't gap over the high. And that's today's call of sorts.